Today, we're going to talk about action figure collecting mistakes. If you want to last long or not be burned out on this hobby, you have to prevent the ones that will be mentioned on this video. But here's the thing, I'm not going to give you a list of the common mistakes that are usually covered on other videos. Instead, we'll be diving into the ones that collectors like you and me don't talk about nearly enough or never discuss at all. According to Bill Gates, it is fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. This emphasizes why examining and talking about mistakes is vital to long term growth. That is why I want to talk about three collecting mistakes that most collectors rarely talk about or don't talk about at all. And if you can avoid this, I guarantee that your collecting experience will improve significantly. And I know this because not only I'm a collector myself, but I've sold a large part of my collection through my own page, and I am also working as a customer service representative on one of the biggest digital payment platform worldwide. Through these roles and my interactions with other collectors, these are the mistakes I've consistently noticed. Mistake number one is getting loans to buy a figure. This may seem harmless at first, especially when the item feels rare, limited, or emotionally meaningful and is meant to bring stress rather than enjoyment in the long run. Whether through credit cards, buy now, pay later services, or personal loans, you'll almost always end up paying more than the original price due to the interest, fees, or penalties because action figures have no guaranteed resale value. Imagine taking a loan to buy a $50 figure. Depending on the loan or payment plan, you may end up paying an extra $5 to $10 in interest. While a few figures may go up in value if you're lucky, most figures lose value over time. This means you not only pay more than the figure at the start, but you also lose money because of the extra fees from that loan. Paying off an impulse purchase can also stop you from buying figures that you truly want later, since your money is being used to pay a loan you didn't really need. Over time, this way of thinking can lead to more debt, guilt and stress, feelings that may take away the fun from collecting. Healthy collecting is about balance, patience, and spending only what you can afford. Which is why it is best to remind yourself that waiting until you can buy a figure with your own money helps protect both peace of mind and your enjoyment of the hobby. Next mistake is not tracking the spending for this hobby. And we are not just talking about the value of the figure itself, because every time you make a purchase, there are small costs that seem invisible to us collectors, like shipping fees, taxes, and interest from loans, just like what we mentioned earlier. And on this video, we'll be calling them invisible costs. It is important to track even these small expenses, since money that are meant for high quality pieces may be eaten by these invisible costs. To better understand how invisible cost can be a problem, imagine if you buy 10 figures in 1 month and each figure comes from a different seller, so each of them will cost around $5 to ship. That means that you'll spend $50 on shipping fee alone. That $50 could have been used to buy one or even two figures for your collection, but instead, it was spent on something that you don't even display. Since shipping fees are almost always part of buying figures online, keeping track of them helps you plan your purchases better and manage your budget more wisely. Another important thing to keep track of is pre-orders, because they can quietly pile up. And when you don't track them well, it's easy to order too many figures without thinking carefully about each one. But when all those figures arrive at the same time, you suddenly have to pay the remaining balance for all 10 at once. This can be very stressful and hard to manage, so here are some easy methods you can use to keep track of your collection. Doing these things help you avoid spending too much, make it easier to plan for future purchases, and keeps collecting fun and stress-free in the long run. The third mistake is going to be ignoring action figure maintenance. Maintenance is crucial for every collector because figures made from various plastics and paints degrade over time. Neglect leads to paint transfer or discoloration, stickiness on the figure, cracks due to extreme temperatures, and leaning issues. Proper care saves money long term. Prevention beats replacing parts, buying duplicates, or paying for restorations. If you realize that you're making some of these mistakes, just like I have and many other collectors, it's actually fine. And the first step on doing so is simply knowing that this mistake exists. I will be uploading more videos where we can talk more deeply about each of these topics and other helpful tips for collectors. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you all on the next one.